What is up, everyone? It is your friendly neighborhood nerdologist, the Shyzman. And I know it's been a while. I know it's been a minute since we last, had a little conversation about a bunch of things and stuff. But we are back in a way. But I will say it's been okay for the most part. Well, with my personal life, aside. But yeah, I will say yesterday I went to go watch Spider-Man Brand New Day. And let's just say, man, that shit was ass, man. I'm getting sick tired of this damn, Spider-Man, bro. He fucking sucks. He's a goddamn loser. He's a nothing burger. He's just nada. He just sucks, dog. As a loser would say, because guess what, motherfucker? That shit was gas! And I mean it in the best way possible, bro. Like, this was a really, really good movie. And that's just like, barring out the fact that this is like coming right after the fact of what happened in No Way Home, because that was already an insane movie, by the way. But like, words can I explain just the exact feeling that I was feeling when I was watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, other than the fact that I was enjoying myself, man. I have never enjoyed a movie like this in a while. And it's been like more than 20 years since I last watched, like, obviously it's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, all the trilogies of that, and a little bit of the Amazing series, though, some people may like it, some people may not like it. I was to me, it was okay. But man, oh man, Spider-Man Brand New Day, dog. Like, whoo, that was in a different movie, bro. But yeah, no, all I gotta say about it, at least in the non-spoiler territory here, at least in this section, I'd say really, really good. The acting was obviously superb, and yeah, no, like the fight scenes, man, they absolutely stepped up. But it also kind of helped that it was this like very specific director that did Shang-Chi. I think it was his name is like Dustin Creighton or whatever you call it. Man, oh man, good director to have, especially in fight scenes and stuff like fight choreographies. Wow, it was. I'm really excited to see what they'll be doing with the subsequent movies afterwards because I think they're planning to do a little bit more with Spider-Man and then potentially bring in Shang-Chi. I hope they do because that the Shang-Chi movie was mm, as a martial artist, like enthusiast and also a fan of martial arts films. Man, it was just great to see that. But yeah, the actions were just great. The story wise, like man, they stepped it up, bro. Like, again, if you guys don't know what happened in No Way Home, I mean, a little bit spoilers of that, though. At this point, it's like if you haven't seen it, then it is what it is. Obviously, Peter Parker makes a wish that people won't remember him or some semblance of that. Basically, like he's gonna be forgotten in history. Pretty much, like no one's gonna remember him, if at all, like he ever existed. But it was for a reason because Mysterio basically ratted him out and shit. And people were up in arms of wanting to get rid of him. So that put not only like danger to himself but his to his loved ones for the most part. And you know, Aunt May sadly, well, bit the dust for that. So that sucks. And it bars off from that where it ends in a bittersweet note that his friends no longer remember him, if at all. And then Brand New Day takes place at least give or take 5 or 7 years since the event that happened in No Way Home. And basically, Buddy is just struggling. And man, oh man, it was great to see that. And also, like at the same time, with being Spider-Man, of course, still taking to Effector, but whenever Peter is Spider-Man, Peter's life doesn't get any much better sometimes, but it was just like a good starting point to where he was always sorry if like my nose is like bugging me because reasons. But anyways, that's not even the point of that. The point is I really like that the pacing of it is just like Peter's journey from like being depressed and wanting so badly to be with his friends to like at the end where more or less he's like rebuilding that. But not spoiler alerts. I would definitely say like The experience of how I feel about the movie is I feel pretty good about it. It's been, an enjoyable watch to say the least. The fight scenes was pretty good. Now, did it drag on a little bit on times? Yeah, it did. It could have been cut down at least like at a minimum like an hour 45 to maybe like 2 hours and 10 minutes probably would be ideally, but at the same time, it actually wasn't too bad. Like the pacing was at least somewhat okay. Could have There was like some moments that was like a bit draggy here and there, but hey, with that any film, it could be like that. But I'll say for the most part, enjoyable. Absolutely recommend watching it. But this time around, we're gonna now go into spoiler territory, my Shyzman Nation. So anyways, if you have not seen this movie and you're planning to watch it, please click off this video to actually go watch it. Or if you don't care for the spoiler alerts, then watch it at your own disgrace. But if you want to not be spoiled, then take your ass to the goddamn theaters and go watch that shit, okay? And then come back, and then we're gonna be having a good time talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Anyways, spoiler alert warning aside, let's get into the spoilers. So, okay, so we start off with obviously, Spider-Man, having to go through a lot of issues, obviously, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. So then he encounters a very specific villain, or should I say antagonist? You know what I'm saying? Villain, antagonist, same thing. So apparently, this suspect of such, is using telepath to do really questionable things, obviously. Now, we don't know exactly why, at least not yet, of course, but, she's, or it's revealed to be a she, obviously, so, that's the only hint you guys are going to get. So you guys know, I'll give you this. It starts off with the J, ends with a Y. And that's the only hint I'm ever gonna get before we get to the real details. So for anyone that's like catching up on things, you know what I mean. You know what I mean with the J and the Y. Okay. Anyway, so as we're following this particular suspect that's like doing some questionable things. It is slowly revealed that it was this very specific teen girl doing some really dangerous things. And she starts to taunt Spider-Man, being like, "Oh, I know your little secrets, and I know that you had this and that, and one day I'm gonna get into your head, and then I'm gonna destroy everything that you are." Basic villain monologue nonsense, and you know, Spider-Man, says, "No, you're not gonna harm me or my, family, or really not me or the people I love, obviously." So he's like, "No, I'm gonna stop you." And he gets into some scuffles here and there, metamorphosis here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like fighting against Scorpion. Twice. One time when he already kind of more or less beated him in a winter outfit, which was kind of crazy. And then the last part where he just straight up was like, going crazy when his like powers start to pop in, because it's metamorphing to something different. You know what I'm saying? Something special, they say. But it's just like nature nurture situation. But yeah. Then it's revealed a little bit later on to be, obviously, you know, I'm gonna give you guys one more hint of who this character is before I reveal it. So I'm gonna give you guys at least give or take 3 seconds to guess who it actually is. Wait, 3, 2, 1. And if you haven't guessed it already, it is dun, 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 Jean Grey. Yep, Jean motherfucking Grey from fucking X-Men. But by the way, hold on. This is MCU. They have not revealed whether or not they're even still in it. But surprise to literally no one, kinda, maybe, Jean Grey's in. And she's, a little bit cuckoo in the head, but there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. but we'll get into it eventually. Let me talk my shit, anyways. But like, yeah, Jean Grey is revealed to do this really dastard things, and specifically, she's looking for something that's very, very particular. X Max. Yeah, so she's trying to figure out, what had happened to a certain like special person that is like very close to her. And after she gets captured more or less, after the whole situation, with like, Spider-Man versus Hulk, blah 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 blah. And obviously Spider-Man wins by, telling him, hey, do you remember, I'm your friend, blah blah blah. And Hulk finally like calms down after becoming Savage Hulk and going fucking crazy on Hulk clap and all this other stuff. And Punisher's also there too, doing his thing. Oh, I forgot to mention real quick before we get into Jean Grey. I really like the dynamic with Spider-Man and the Punisher. Oh my god, really amazing duo, really great chemistry. Like they absolutely nailed it, and absolutely, I would like to see more team up with that. And obviously, I would like to see Daredevil in it too. So you know what? Hey, for the next movie or the next show, I don't know, maybe bring in all three of the guys, maybe Hulk every now and then, and just like go crazy with the super team of street teams. Anyways, that was pretty cool. But back to Jean Grey. So after she gets more or less captured, that um as she kind of falls into Spider-Man's arm, she mentions a very specific name called Sarah. And before she passes out, she says Sarah, and it's actually rarely important to think about because this is where it gets crazy. But you know Misker, whatever the fuck his name is, he tries to ask him about like who that is, because is it very, very important for a lot of reasons. And oh, by the way, like damage control does, some sort of things, they seem good on the outside, but it be revealed later, like always with the government, they fucking suck on the inside because of, I won't get into too much details other than, if you know, you know. But yeah, when Spider-Man mentions, hey, does Sarah ring a bell somewhat? He's like, no, not really. It could be, related to Jean. We don't know. I want answers too, at least for now. But afterwards, Spider-Man was a little unconvinced, like, things are not adding up with that. So then he goes to, well, in this point in the story, the Black Widow. I know it's the Black Widow sister, obviously. But I haven't seen Thunderbolt yet, so my bad if I don't remember the character's name. But I'm just gonna call them the new Black Widow, or basically Black Widow's sister with the blonde hair. She's fucking cool, by the way. Like, I really want to watch the Thunderbolt, and let's just say, ooh, she fine as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. But like, anyways, before I let my desire get a little crazy for a blonde sexy Russian lady. That's Black Widow's sister, by the way. Let's see. You know, Spider-Man talks to Black Widow, or the new Black Widow, I should say, about hey, does Sarah ring a bell? And she pops up like, let me see here. Oh yeah, that would be related to sister of. Oh, I get it now. They are related somehow. You know. Jean and Sarah are related, and Sarah is very important. And yeah, I think it would be best if you check on Misker for a bit because he is a POS. Send. Anyways, bastardization of what was really happening on the side. She reveals that Sarah and Jean Grey are sisters, and then it's a flashback where what happened with the both of them, and it's pretty much revealed more or less like, yeah, they're basically, at least in the story, like considered mutants, but in this case they're called special, so they have special powers. I don't know. The rights to the issues aside, it's just still kind of whatever, but we'll just go with special for now, just because of how the story is structured. Anyways, you know. they are considered special because they have like very special talent and telekinesis and probably a little bit more than that. And you know, Sarah's trying to teach Jean how to like use her powers. Obviously, as a an older sibling would, and I would know because I am an older sibling and also a younger sibling. I am a middle child after all. But Sarah's teaching Jean whatever. And then when she tries to get, the ice cream for her and her sister, she gets now she doesn't die, at least not yet. But she does get captured by damage control and yeah. She sends her sister away by telepathing her body to safety, and then that's the last thing she's seen. And then basically Jean Grey is, captured more or less, and about to be experimented on because newsflash for and surprise to nobody else, damage control are fucking assholes. Who would have fucking thought? Anyways, yeah, Metzger is a piece of shit. And decides to basically do the same experiment that he did on Jean Grey, but then while she was being experimented on, while she's looking up in the goddamn ceiling, it is revealed that the VMAX, the whole thing that's like very, very important, is actually, the factor that not only is it about Sarah Gray, but it is implied that they have experimented on her multiple times and she may or may have not died. Basically, completely experimented on to where she's either immobilized or fucking dead. And let's just say, after that revelation, as she's looking up in the ceiling and her powers start to like, get a little bit more, crazy and crazy, and then gets a little bit more, explosive, is revealed that she died somehow. I don't know. I honestly am going to believe that. I think Sarah may have survived that. That's for like a theory for another video. But still, uh, damage control sucks, and yeah, they're the real villains the whole entire time. But Jean Grey finally figures it out, and then goes full like. Well, she doesn't like punch him, although I would love to see that. But like, she used her obviously telepathic powers to basically hold New York City hostage for quite a considerable amount of time. And yeah, it gets more crazy, man. Like, especially after like minus the fact that we have like one of the best fight scenes of all time in a Spider-Man film of all places, some fucking how, like it's just whoo man. Mwah. Like the Hand versus Spider-Man, from beginning, middle, and end. Mm. Cinematic fighting scene, moves of all time, evading the punches and then slowly, showing off the powers and then going, woo! All that on these, like, ninjas. But that was pretty cool to see. And then finally, Spider-Man more or less confronts Jean Grey about, the whole situation, but more so trying to comfort her about like, the loss because, after realizing that she lost her sister thanks to these fuck asses, you know, Peter being a good man, says, let's talk about it, and obviously still her being like the antagonist, being like, no, I am more stronger than you realize, and blah blah, and villain monologue, Spider-Man just like tells him like, hey, if you want to see what's wrong with me, or you want to control my mind, or you want to see what's in this, then go on ahead. I consent to it. And Jean said, bet. And then she gets, let's just say, talk no jutsu of a life. And not only was it was like obviously Peter Parker doing a talk no jutsu and all this other stuff, it's fucking Aunt May that has to like, give it a little bit of the talk no jutsu, but in a positive way to just like telling her like, things are gonna get a little scary, with life. But no matter what, you are beautiful and you are amazing, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And that just made her like, really, really feel for obviously, Spider-Man and stuff. And they bond over the fact that they tragically lost some people that they love and care about, which was very beautiful. It's hard to like go. I'm sorry, my thing is going off, but like, yeah, just it. Hold on, let me get my thoughts real quick. Sorry, guys. Anyways, sorry about that. We're back on it. Don't mind the background. My mom and brother are having a fantastic time being the crap out of each other. Not kidding, but like, anyways, so it gets back to you know, um, Jean Grey and Spider-Man bonding over the fact that they lost some very important people, and then if I remember correctly, there was like a gunfire, and then like Spider-Man gets shot in the back. Well, more or less, the bullet was actually meant for Jean because at this point, it's just like she is considered dangerous. But by the way, it was like the Punisher trying to take her out, even though like Spider-Man specifically told him like, "Hey, don't do that. Let me handle this, okay?" But Punisher was like, "Man, fuck you. I'm gonna do my own thing." Boom. You know what I'm saying? Which, by the way, the Punisher. Yo, Punisher's a G for that sometimes, but like that shit got me rolling. Just like, woo, yeah, that man, he's interesting. But yeah, no, like, he takes a bullet for Jean, and even like tells her to like go because these very very problematic individuals of power would try to find her and so. But Jean was like, no, I want you to be okay, which is like a crazy face turn if you think about it. But at the end of the day, Jean Grey is a good kid. She just was dealt with the wrong situation or wrong hand. I don't know. She dealt with the worst card imaginable, like losing her sister because of assholes, and her retaliation is basically robbery, arson, and all this stuff. Like, yeah, it's bad. Yes, it's really bad. But to be fair, damage control fucking sucks. So if they didn't do what the fuck they were doing, all this shit didn't have to happen. But just like with every government that does some really fuck shit and not let leave people the fuck alone, because apparently leaving people alone is definitely not a concept that they will ever, conceptually think about. All they think about is, oh, so you want to be left alone? Too bad, motherfucker, because guess what? I care about what you're doing. Therefore, I will experiment on your body the way I wanted to. Which sounds fucking crazy as hell, but that's how it works somehow. So, yep, for those people, but still, yeah, damage control sucks ass. But it ends off with that, more or less. And Spider-Man does thankfully get saved by Jean Grey and some weird, magical reality, whatever ability to, make sure that he's not like gonna hit like that. But yeah, no, it was intense, man. And then like in the in between of like the situations that's like happening, it's also like I really like this like well okay, it's not necessarily chemistry, but it's just like, a rekindling as such between obviously Zendaya's Mary Jane and Tom Holland's, Peter Parker and stuff. But at the same time, it's a little bit different because sadly, especially as we get a little bit closer to the end and stuff, besides like getting mind controlled by Jean Grey to be like revealed about like you know touch her, kiss her, and all this other stuff, which is like, okay, Jean, what the fuck are you doing? Chill, girl, chill, chill. But at the end, it's revealed like Mary Jane sadly doesn't have memories at all. So basically, yes, the spell that happened really did some numbers, and yes, it worked, but it came with even dire consequences of the fact that she doesn't even know Peter at all, and she even tells him like the girl that you used to know is not me anymore because I don't remember you and stuff. I don't love you, which that stung a little bit. I was like, damn, not even a little bit. Come on, Strange, really? Come on. But it is what it is. Sometimes with magic or just with wishes, you just got to be careful what you wish for, I guess. But still, like, it stings a bit. But hey, at the same time, hey, Peter Parker being Peter Parker, still doing the right thing, and even rekindling some semblance of, you know, of a life with them. Finally, especially when we get to the end where everything's like more or less situated. He sees Ned and they did their little like infamous, bro handshake, and then it's more or less revealed that Ned may or may not remember. Again, it's left ambiguous of how this will go because again, we'll see. But I don't know because like during that time when Jean Grey was going like sonic blast on these people and basically just holding people, including the damage control, hostage in their minds. I can't help but notice also like when with well, obviously Zendaya's Mary Jane, MJ or whatnot. I noticed that she was having a little bit of tear, and I don't want to get into too much details, but when she did say like she don't remember at all, this is like before Jean Grey did her thing. So I'm thinking since the ending is left a little bit ambiguous with like Peter Parker and Ned finally doing their thing, going crazy with the best friend handshake, obviously, and then like Ned more or less like being like Peter, that. No, some people will say like it could just be like he does it for any friend, but honestly, looking back on it, maybe not. But even with like the friends that he was able to make, he doesn't do this at all with any of them, other than his own best friend. By muscle memory alone, you know, it makes more sense because there are like special ways of having like specific handshakes and specific ways of like expressing your love for another person that is completely unique to two individuals. You know what I'm saying? So like that would make more sense that he might have a little bit more memories. Like, oh, okay, I remember we used to be maybe friends a long time ago. Maybe, but yeah. And then like it's also like revealed as like the ending scenes was happening that like how do I put this? Oh yeah, that how do I put this? Damn it, I'm gonna lost the train of thought again. Oh yeah. Zendaya was holding like Zendaya. Mary Jane was holding a very, very important item that, was given to her and I think Far From Home. I don't know if it was a trinket. It's something very important, obviously. But I know for a fact that it's very significant because, like, again, if we remember, she says, "I don't love you. I don't know you like that," and it's like I understand that it's very important, but they deliberately kind of ended off with her holding a very special item. I'm like, hold on, if you're gonna say all that, then girl, why do you have an item of a person that you clearly don't know? I'm sorry, but like. I hate to be a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but girl, you gotta remember a little bit. And hold on, I gotta deal with something with my family real quick. Anyways, that aside, yeah, I would say, it was kind of weird because, like, if you think about it, like, how would you have an item that is of importance, but you don't know the guy? And it's like, girl, we gonna have a little bit of talk here because the thing is, she could have still been like, I still don't feel anything, which is fine. Like, that's cool and all. Like, people change and stuff. But it's just like, girl, why do you have an important item of a guy that you clearly don't quite remember? Because the thing is, it's like, all right, if you felt some type of way, then yeah, go talk to your boyfriend, aka Paul. Apparently, I don't know. He's called a boyfriend, but honestly, I think it's Paul. Just because, like if you know, in the comic books, Paul is, "Argh," but and like obviously the subsequent issues I have with Marvel Vittorio being fucking assholes and Loki, I want to like punch him in the throat for everything that they have fucking done since one more fucking day. So fuck you, Marvel Vittorio, and also Zeb Wells. But still, just to feel a little something like, hey, today's MJ. Gotta be careful with who you pick sometimes. Thing is, yes, Spider-Man, life gets a little crazy, but his thing, girl, so is your life too, girl. So y'all more compatible than anything else. And like I said, I love me an MJ Peter Parker when done right, obviously. But I'm just like, girl, y'all here like reminiscing and thinking about another man while still being in a relationship, girl. Did he just do something at me? Hold up, I'll get back with you guys in a bit. Anyways, y'all. So I had to you know, deal with my brother's shenanigans for the most part. But yeah. Are we good? Hold on. Kind of. But yeah, no, it's just like it's really strange that that happened. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I will say, at the end of the day, things get a little bit better over time. But I'll say at the end, oh, like the post credit scene where it gets a little bit more important. Apparently, Ned's tracker starts to like go off, and it's like revealed that Tom Holland Spider-Man was once in Queens, and then it pans it goes out and then out to Earth, and then goes to then like past the moon, and then some crazy shit starts happening where some glitches start happening, and then all of a sudden there's a Spider-Man located or whatnot. And now again, with theories like that, that's gonna be again for another day. But like I'll still say that's a setup for basically what happened in between or probably after what happened with Avengers Doomsday and obviously Avengers Secret Wars. And I'm really excited to see what they're gonna be doing with that. And man, oh man. Doomsday's coming and he's coming really, really hard. And I'm not saying it as like, an innuendo joke. This man's about to pop up be like, get the fuck out of my way. Get the fuck out of my way. Man, I don't care about this goddamn incursion. Motherfucker, I'm Dr. Doom. I'm here to get some Doom dick. Mmm. 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 Like going crazy, man. Cause like I ain't gonna lie, if y'all seen like the trailer of Avengers Doomsday where he blocked like Thor's hammer or whatnot or Mjolnir or whatever like he was using, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? Doctor Doom is, man, Doctor Doom, bro. He is on a different level, man. And we thought Thanos was a problem. Motherfucker, Doctor Doom is a fucking problem. And if you know Marvel history, especially the comic books, especially with Reed and Fantastic Four, everybody fucking else, this man is more of a problem than Thanos. At least with Thanos, he just, snaps, away maybe half of the universe or half of the population of the universe for reasons, maybe. And even though that still is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Doom, on the other hand, is like, no, my ego is so big that I'm even better than God. So guess what? I am the greatest. Like, this man's ego is just up high. But it kind of makes sense because he's a smart guy too that doesn't give a shit. And I love villains like that where they just do not give an ounce of a fuck. They're like, man, I don't give a fuck about other people. Man, I'm me. I'm me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love those kind of villains. Although, yes, it is kind of crazy to have such a high ego that you're better than God and stuff, because that's crazy work. But at the same time, hey. Sometimes we need some assholes in our lives that just say, man, fuck all that. I'm me, baby. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, like, it's just crazy to see that. But, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this very somewhat entertaining video here. I might have to do quite a lot of editing here to make things a little bit more cohesive. But at the same time, I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of Spider-Man Brand New Day. And yeah, I am excited to see what they're gonna be doing in Spider-Man 5 or whatever subsequent movies that they're gonna be doing with that. Obviously, pretty soon we're gonna be getting Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, so stay tuned for that because I'm gonna be definitely talking about my thoughts on that when it comes out and just seeing whether or not the theories that I even talked about beforehand would reign true. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, Spider-Man Brand New Day is pretty good. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have seen it and if you guys enjoyed it or not. And yeah, let's get this discussion going on about this really amazing movie, and then pretty soon with Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars coming out, I think it's gonna be pretty good. And yeah, let me know. Anyways, this is your friendly neighborhood nerdologist, the Shyzman. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more, nerd videos to come out fairly soon about, a lot of cool things. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more of this content or whatnot. And yeah. I will see you guys later. Stay peaceful, stay amazing, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay being peaceful, stay being amazing, stay being, the spidey person that you guys are in your own unique ways. And yeah, do you, baby boo, and let's do what I do. Boo boo. Oh god. I'll see you guys later. To me, my Shizy Nation. Nah, that's X-Men. Anyways, for my Shizy Nation out there, continue to do more amazing things and hey, let's keep it going on the road. I'll see you guys later. Peace.